you saw today pretty much what we've seen all the way through Jamison. He's been on point. He's been here, pretty much every day. He's missed a few days here and there for personal reasons, but he's a talented guy, former first-round pick. He looks it, rangy, big catch radius. All the things you saw today, I feel like he's been doing all along.
Hey, Coach, I know it's been just a few weeks, but what is the thing that stands out the most when you watch all the rookies from film, like before the draft and now on the field?
You do. You try to see what's going to carry over. What you saw on tape is going to carry over to what you see out here. And I would say pretty much all the guys look a little better even. They look in this environment, they look smooth, they're moving well, they're learning. All the guys are learning well. So we're happy with those guys. All the rookies are doing a good job. Now, it's rehearsal right now. It's not really competitive. So we'll see once the pads come on and once it gets competitive, we'll know more.
Kyle, it's your second year. How does having a full off season in the building and being really familiar with the coaching staff, all your teammates, how does that impact you going into your second year?
I think it gives me more confidence. I know what to expect now on a day-to-day basis and less room for excuses, stuff like that. A little more focused in a sense of trying to lead just by doing the right thing every day. Being in the right spots in practice. I'm still messing up, but trying to minimize those mistakes, make new mistakes every day, and just getting more experience.
Kyle, as the year went on last year, it looked like they were adding more and more onto your plate. Right now, where are you at? Is it still they're still giving you more to do in terms of your responsibilities on the field, or is it kind of looking like the way it did on the back end of last year?
Yeah, I mean, it's June, 6th, so we're still getting the kicks out at this point. But as of right now, I've been getting a lot of reps at safety. Didn't get a ton of reps at safety last year, just in terms of the room that we had and the positions I was playing, what position I was put in. But yeah, I mean, it's still a lot to learn for me back there at that position at this level, given the lack of experience I had last year. But like I said, I'm learning new stuff every day, making new mistakes, and getting more comfortable day by day.
Is it fair to say that's ultimately where you want to be? I mean, that's how you see yourself long term as safety?
I don't know. I think as of right now, I feel like I can do a multitude of things, and I feel like nobody's really trying to pin me in one place at this point. And like I said, it's still June. Depending on the week, depending on the game, personnel, we might switch, but who knows? At this point, I'm just trying to just get everything down pat as much as possible.
It's a great place to be, and the transition's been easy because I know a lot of people here. I did the Bill Walsh Minority Coaching Program, got my start here, and helped kick off my training career, with when Coach Harbaugh's first year. I was a lot younger, he was a lot younger. But so everybody here, even guys on the staff, there are guys here that I train. Eric, Mr. Bishotti, I've known a lot of these people for a long, long, long time. So if there was a perfect place for me to come and start, really kick off my first year again, it was the Baltimore Ravens.
When you were playing, did you know even then that you felt like you would have something to offer as a coach, as a trainer? When did that enter your mind as kind of the next step for you?
Well, I always knew in the early 90s that I wanted to train pass rushers because there was no one really doing it. And as far as that, because there was a void there, and I just had a love of pass rush from, back in 1978, I think when Jack Youngblood, or was 79 when he broke his leg, watching him, and then watching LT being the first person Mike, going through being from the South, we like college players. Growing up loving Derek Thomas, Wilbur Marshall, guys that were in the SEC. So pass rush was always around, and so getting the blessings of playing with Reggie White, learning from Reggie White, learning from Derek Thomas, playing with great coaches, watching great, different defenses, always had a passion for pass rush. And it wasn't really normal kind of back then. People kind of looked like, man, that's kind of weird because it was a run-first offense. So then when I got to the NFL, I was watching inside the NFL. I was at Carolina. I was coming to the end of my career. Me and my wife were sitting on the couch in South Park. Everybody knows Charlotte. I was sitting in Charlotte on injured reserve, and we were watching inside the NFL. And Greg Gumbel was like, well, there's a new trend going on of, there's an NFL players that are working with the trainer, and it's changing the game. And there was this guy, Steve Clarkston, and from California. He's the first guy to really do it with NFL players for money. And so I was sitting there, and I had already been doing that in the 90s. My wife was like, dang, babe, you've been doing that too. I had already been doing it. So, because, a lot of people, they didn't believe in that you could train, because everything was about lifting. There was not skilled trainers. So right then, 2001, went on injured reserve. I went back to Atlanta, and I started training pass rushers, and that's kind of how it happened. And but when you're like the second person, it's hard to visualize. Back in those days, I wasn't welcome because it was a different culture. You know, with coaches, there weren't guys like me. You know, there wasn't even iPhones, so that's a